Alright, there we go. Welcome to the Halcyon Fold. As said, good stuff going on here. Gamers2 versus the TheNightsWatch. And another name inspired maybe by the one or the other series. Radix versus Magic Shadow here. This is the one-on-one matchup. Vox versus Celeste on the lane. And let's quickly jump onto the right side of the jungle. Dingo and Dark Potato here playing it, battling out in the jungle. On the other side, MM1990 together with Pat Attack. But I will stick just to MM or Arden here for the next time.
Yeah, just a little bit quicker to be able to get out just the letters there.
I mean,
we did.
I like the number, you know, personally, because I connect something with that. But that's another story. Just continuing with the first fight here. Dingo might fall, but there's a lot of damage. Pat Attack has to back up together with MM, and there comes the first blood just now for Dingo here. Magic Shadow tried to connect from the top, but just a little bit too late.
Yeah, a little unfortunate that the kill did go over onto the Catherine, but you know, as I like to always say, you know, it's better to get the kill on your protector than to not get the kill at all. So, not going to be too upset about that one, I don't think, on the side of Gamers2. Just happy to get the first blood, getting themselves up to about a 300 gold lead just off that early on. Hopefully they can continue to keep that lead growing steadily throughout the game. I mean, if you can gain about 100 gold lead every minute, then you're going to be in some pretty solid positions later on in the game.
Yeah, that is right, and I mean, we know that the one or the other scout trap actually can matter, and there we see Dingo just pushing off the enemy 1 versus 2. They didn't even saw Dark Potato here connecting, but they can only think that Dark Potato is coming. Of course, now they see leaping him in here, going and forcing the fight, and look at that, trying to deal early damage, and I mean, together with a Blazing Salvo, that's pretty interesting. A lot of defense here. MM might fall. In the meantime, the same stuff going on the lane here. Magic Shadow picking up Celeste. We missed that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we can't watch every single fight going on at the same time, but now Rona wants this kill on Magic Shadow, is going to get it and then get out safely. Oof, very close though, because those turrets do hurt.
Yeah, Dingo directly jumping in here to get the last turret shot, even as if Dark Potato were out of range. But of course, you have to be sure here, since the turrets deal so much damage after the recent change.
Yep, just hitting 4 minutes where the mines do appear. Let's see if teams decide to play right after those mines, or if they wait a while. Usually you end up seeing teams waiting a bit, as Radix playing very aggressive in this lane against Magic Shadow.
Yeah, he does, as well as Dark Potato and Dingo do from the bottom, so they try to be aggressive here, and now maybe a gank. Oh, what a nice core collapse here from Radix, used on Pat Attack just in time. He provided the vision there with the scout trap, and that was pretty good. Dingo, now look at that. He's going 1 versus 3, pretty interesting. Very tanky, of course, with the Kinect shield from the very start. And look at Dark Potato on the right. They are forcing here somehow the TheNightsWatch to a fight, and maybe they want it because now Radix is coming and trying to deal the final damage, and that is pretty interesting to watch this tactic, especially working out for now.
Yeah, it looks like they're not quite done yet. Going to be going underneath the turrets. This is such aggressive play from Gamers2, but not quite getting anything out of it other than some low health bars.
Yeah, but at least something. I mean, if you force the enemy to low health bars, that is pretty fine. Because in the meantime, we see Rona picking up all the enemy jungle, continuing now the way to the own jungle, and now Dingo and Radix are joining here.
Yeah, looking at the CS numbers, you have 32 minions killed on Rona to only 24 by Glaive because of these aggressive plays. You know, if you can just force them to have lower health bars, they have to go back to base, heal up, or just play safely under their turrets, and that gives you that free time to go into the jungle and steal away some camps, and it denies so much gold away from the enemy team.
Yeah, totally true here. So the TheNightsWatch going to the lane, maybe trying to get another gank. But again, we do see Dingo with the deep follow-up, trying to provide at least vision where they are going here. And Magic Shadow, Oh yeah, stunned by Dingo. Another Heliogenesis coming from top, and there comes the ultimate with a snipe from the books here, picking up the 3rd kill for Gamers2.
Yeah, huge Solar Storm coming in very shortly after having hit level 6. Actually, almost immediately after. But another mini skirmish going on. Just going to be pushing Gamers2 away from this turret. Gold miners getting pretty close to full, so I wouldn't be surprised if they make a move towards that objective. But looks like instead they're just looking to take away more gold from the enemy jungle, playing it safe, possibly looking to try and bait in a fight. Have to see.
I think they won't fight they won't force a fight here. That way is better. On the lane we see 50 last hits from Dark Potato getting some low health bar here. 50 last hits from Magic Shadow, just seeing here, and Radix is a bit further than that. He's on 63. Yeah, just reflecting the aggressive playstyle, I think. Trying to push the lane always, and therefore, yeah, make the turret get some last hits on the minions as well, and making the last hit life pretty tough for Magic Shadow.
Yeah, really, that's one of the big things you look for when you're going to be playing so aggressive. You're not necessarily looking for a kill every time you go for an invade. You're just looking to push enemies away from objectives, away from minions, just to get yourself a lead in your other positions.
Oh, going here on low health, and in the meantime, on top there is another fight going on, but they backed up. Oh, Arden falling here, going down, pad attack with the afterburn, and what afterburn, ladies and gentlemen, here for the one-on-one trade. That was a very good one, and that was an important one, not only for the team for the kill, but also for the self-confidence, because for now, the first 8 minutes, that pressure from Gamers2 somehow has to be, you know, you have to make them shift back here a gear.
This is could be a bit of a mistake there, going in and attacking the glaive. It did force them to have to back away because the turret was starting to target and do a lot of damage to Dingo. But as you mentioned, a huge afterburner there. Not only, as you were talking about the confidence factor of it, but also just the fact that I feel if they had walked away from that fight with all 3 members up, they would have immediately gone for the gold mine, which is full, sitting at 300 gold per player to whichever team can claim that objective first.
All right, and Radix here, joined by Dingo, but I think no situation is going to be opened here from Magic Shadow, since he knows in the meantime about the aggressive gameplay from Gamers2 and is not risking a thing. Let's talk about the scout traps. I do see in the gold mine area 3, 4 from the TheNightsWatch, and yeah, 4, 5, 6, something around that. Yeah, if we count that too. So Gamers2 a bit busy, and there comes a rotation, and what a nice Heliogenesis, revealing 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and of course the 3rd was revealed thanks to the minions in the lane, so they know where everyone is. This actually could be another fight here. The turret is fairly low, but I don't think you want to go diving that just yet, because it will get a few shots off. Celeste gonna be kind of cut off a bit from the rest of her team, but it looks like they're gonna go and start up the gold mine now.
I don't think yeah, maybe they want to force it, but maybe just forcing the team fight, and there comes the stun, and there comes the gauntlet, and what a nice Solar Storm, not picking up the kill, but Rona does in the end, and Glaive with the afterburn, picking up the immense gold payout, but paying this 300 gold per player with his life.
Yeah, that was a great job. Really, TheNightsWatch needed to get that gold mine, just to kind of get themselves back into this game. They're starting to fall pretty far behind in terms of gold, even with the 900 gold going over to their team, which of course did just get answered by that turret. They're still behind by about 3,000 gold. So that's not something that's very comforting for the TheNightsWatch fans out there. But we'll have to see. You know, they do have a lot of pick potential.
And a lot of 2 versus 3 situation. Pat's attack just going back here, and with the Vanguard, the escape by Dark Potato just connecting. And the pickup here from him now in that situation. And it was pretty interesting, since it started as a 3 versus 2, but then they backed up. The gap closer coming in, picking up the kill. Wow, Gamers2 showing off some really good performance here so far.
Yeah, Dark Potato especially sitting on 4-0-2. Really strong performance on this Rona, kind of showing why it's become so prominent in the North American scene. Might be, leading the pack here for Europe, bringing this hero into the tournament. But gonna be have to see what goes on. Oh, pad attack, getting caught out.
Yeah, just continue. Yeah, there we are, but not going down here. So luckily we're just here with our eyes somewhere else on Dark Potato. So nonetheless, I mean, what I wanted to talk about is Dark Potato's Shiver Steel, and now together with the breaking point. I think that is deadly, especially if that guy just leaps to you with the gap closer, immediately starting to activate the Shiver Steel, and then the breaking point automatically stacking up. Talking about the leap, there we go in for the next fight, and what a nice stun. MM can't do nothing.
Yeah, the Shiver Steel adding a 2.8 second slow on every auto attack. Oh, here's going to be a fight for this gold mine, though.
Yeah, the fight coming up. Gold Miner joining the party, dealing damage. Dark Potato, no, not picking up the kill. It was Radix this time. And we do see Magic Shadow HD just escaping here from the situation. In the meantime, Radix Dingo picking up the gold mine. Wow.
Yeah, Gamers2 really looking very strong in this game thus far. Going back to the Shiver Steel breaking point, when you have an enemy Glaive and Arden, you're not going to be able to just burst them out in an instant. So the fights are going to be fairly lengthy, which is why that breaking point is a very good pickup. It's really a very situational item, but in the right situation, it's extremely useful. And going up against two big tanky bruisers is the perfect situation for it.
We might see Dingo finishing soon the Warhorn, and I think a Warhorn is also a situational, sorry for that, item. But the next team fight is going out, and there comes the gauntlet dropped. Pad attack with a nice, and there comes the wait for it. Solar Storm, I don't know where to begin and where to end. First blood, second blood, and the ace for Gamers2.
Yeah, Celeste wasn't even there at the beginning of that fight. Redix just throwing that Solar Storm from the bottom of the map, going up, I believe it hit all three members of the TheNightsWatch, and that's going to be another turret. They might look for a third one here. They have a couple of seconds before everyone does respawn. Yeah. But with the minion wave here, it's going to be enough to be able to take down that third turret of the game, and they're gonna look for another fight. Yeah, they look for another fight, countered by the Blast Tremor from Dingo. What a well-placed Blast Tremor, facing here all the enemies, and there comes the first kill again from Celestial. Redix picking up one fight due to the long-range Heliogenesis now, because he just has overdriven the Heliogenesis, which, let's say, 99% of the players do for a reason, for the poke, and together with the Broken Miss and the Eve of Harvest, definitely a deadly choice. Yeah, really, really strong play from Gamers2, and you look at the levels on the game. MM1990 is still only at level 8, as opposed to the lowest level on Gamers2 is Dingo, his protector counterpart, who has 2 full levels ahead of him. That is just not a good situation to be in. Even the two so-called carry roles, the laner and the jungler, are a level behind their counterparts. So really just dominant performance from Gamers2 right now, as they are going to be picking up this Kraken. I don't think that there's much that TheNightsWatch can do to try and prevent the Kraken from going, but they're definitely going to try. Yeah, they have to try to come back here, and there comes MM dealing, eating the most of the damage, and look at that, Radix joining the fight. Dark Potato, wait for it, connecting somehow, dealing some damage to Gamers2. Gauntlet dropped, and can they, well, at least they can make them not pick the Kraken Blast Tremor, but I think someone will fall. Gamers2 just here connecting, and there is no chance at that time. Pad attack, no, and a 2-for-1 trade at least, but Magic Shadow, I think he can just try to outplay them, somehow go to the bottom. Dingo has no vision here, and he can go back in peace. Great job of stutter stepping there by Magic Shadow. Was able to kite the Rona away. That's the one downside to a Rona, is that if, once that Shiver Steel wears off and the jump is down, she's very easy to kite around the map, as you just saw Magic Shadow do excellently there. Unfortunately, that's kind of just a consolation right now, as they still have 2 members up. They were able to get 2 kills in that trade. This time, not going to look for the Kraken just yet. Instead, push up this lane, apply pressure onto the base, and then very likely end up going for the Kraken after that. Unless they get a strong fight along the way, we'll have to see how they play it out.
Okay, so it looks as yeah, pretty one-sided for now. At least Gamers2 making here it very hard for the TheNightsWatch to come back. Pad attack with a very well-placed, wait for it, there comes not the gauntlet drop, but picking up the kill, a very important one on Celeste Radix. The carry is now down, and Magic Shadow, yes, no chance here to Dark Potato, since this guy is a beast. And maybe another kill here for Pad attack, very important. And look at that afterburn, well done here, providing Dingo somehow to MM, the minion miner joining, but nothing more than that. Oh, yeah, just continue. Tasty Bacon with that one.
Oh, it's gonna be Dingo actually getting caught in the gauntlet. He's so incredibly low. MM1990 trying to chase this one out. The shield going up. Dingo is so incredibly low, but so incredibly tanky, and is going to be able to get away. Fountain of Renewal, a Clockwork, and a Dragon Heart, giving him so many hit points. Makes him very, very difficult to kill, and he is going to be able to get away back to base and heal up. What a great job by Dingo to stay alive.
Well done, totally agree here. So, well, the TheNightsWatch showing off here a very, very good fight, at least something where they did a lot better than before. Just, let's say, somehow managed by that guy. Pad attack here with the well-placed afterburn and the stun onto Radix.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the key to the fights for TheNightsWatch. If they can single out Radix and get Radix down early in fights, then they have a huge advantage. But
hold your
if
thoughts.
they don't,
yeah, Blast Tremor, that happens. Totally agree on that point here. Dark Potato just, yeah, getting the first kill, and we see the weapon infusion and the crystal infusion on Dark Potato. So now, yeah, nearly an unkillable beast here combined with the Sorrow Blade.
Yeah, sitting at pretty much full build. Actually, I believe full build for
Solo Kraken. Provided by Radix at that time. I didn't see that incoming.
Yeah, definitely, like I said, just full builds being built on Gamers2. That's why you see both infusions put onto the Rona. You know, you have nothing else to buy. Might as well just get every little thing that you can. What else are you going to spend the gold on, as they are now pushing into the base?
And the team fight continues here. The gauntlet drop on the left side. I don't know what was that for, but maybe he will, at least he saved his own life using the reflex block here. But I think, no, this is the first match for Gamers2, and we can almost congratulate to the first win here. Well done, and such an important win for Gamers2, not only as a team, but also as the first professional esports organization joining here the Halcyon fold at all.
Yeah, that is going to be that final kill there for the ace, getting that bonus. Kraken still working on the Vein Crystal, and that will be GG. First game picked up by Gamers2.